30 seconds to go. But we do have a quorum, so we can proceed.
Is that?
And there's Representative Golding, marvelous.
I am here, Madam Chair.
Good. In that case, it being 10 o'clock by my official watch, we are opening the executive session for today. And Representative Golding, I believe you have a motion on House Bill.
Do we need attendance first, Madam Chair?
You're so right. Forgive me. My coffee hasn't quite worked its way through to the brain. I don't have the words, Ms. Smarling. I left my notes home, so if you could read the announcement, I would appreciate it.
Very well, I have it right here. Well, on behalf of the chair of the House ED&A Committee, who finds that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with House Rule 67 and the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. This is an executive session on bills referred to the committee and scheduled in the House calendar for today. Please note that there is no physical location for members of the public to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that all members of the committee and select legislative staff have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through the Zoom electronic meeting platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting by the Zoom platform or by telephone. All necessary access information has been made available in the House calendar and through the electronic calendar on the General Court website. The notice for this meeting complies with House rules and RSA 91A. Anyone who has a problem accessing the meeting should call 271-3600 or email hcs@leg.state.nh.us. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. And let's start by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. And now I pass it on to Representative Sytek.
Does this microphone pick me up?
Yes, it does.
Okay. It doesn't quite reach, and I don't want to use my computer, which I don't have the link anyway. I've got to look for it.
No, you're coming in loud and clear, John.
Thank you. I'm gonna take my mask off here, I guess. Representative Allegro is here. I'm sorry. Representative Bailey,
Present in the committee room.
Representative Fellows,
Home alone.
home alone.
Catchy
Representative
tune.
Tanner,
Linda Tanner, Sunapee, New Hampshire, here alone except for my rescue dog, Raven.
rescue dog, woof woof. Representative Goley,
Here at home, and my wife will be in and out of the room at times.
Representative Grota,
Here, and my husband is in the home with, is in my house with me, our house with us.
Don't say in the home. That doesn't sound good. Representative Judy. Representative Judy.
I don't think he's here yet.
Oh, well, he has a way of being coy. He'll be back. Representative Doucette.
Good morning, present, my home office in Salem alone.
Representative Lekis.
Present in the committee room.
The chair is,
Present in the committee room.
and Representative Pimentel. Representative Pimentel, please say you're here because I want to welcome you back.
It doesn't appear to be here yet.
Not yet. Okay, we'll keep our eyes open for.
He is coming.
Yes.
Okay,
yes, we're expecting him.
If you guys would keep your eyes open for Representative Judy or Pimentel, if I miss their arrival, please let me know. Representative Pearson is,
I'm here. I'm in Derry.
okay, zooming, okay. Representative Roy?
Here in the committee room.
Sir, Representative Santonastaso. A little louder, please.
I don't see him either.
Okay, Representative Schmidt.
Representative Schmidt is here in his home office in Dover alone.
Representative Schuett.
I am at home in Pembroke, except for my cat.
I
Sound is pretty bad.
kind of muffled. You were clearer before.
I'll pull it a little closer. Is that better?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Oh, that's much better.
I think Representative Pimentel has showed up. Is that right?
There he is.
Say good morning, Representative Pimentel.
Looks like he's still connecting to the audio.
Oh, okay. Representative Schultz.
Am in my home in Concord, and my husband Gene Taylor will be in and out of the room.
Okay, Representative Yakubovich.
Here in the room.
Here in the room. And the clerk is here in the room.
And you can, I believe, Representative Pimentel is.
Yes, I have him down as Zoom.
It appears he may be having some connection problems. Oh, I see Representative Judy.
Representative Judy is here. Say hello. Where is he?
There he is. Yes.
Muted.
Unmute, John.
I'm having trouble getting on.
Well, okay, but we see him, so I'm going to mark him as present. And
Thank you.
All right, we do have a quorum, so we can proceed. My plan is to do the two bills that were noticed for today and then do as many others as we can up until I have to leave at 2:30. Yeah, doctor's appointment. Okay, so Representative Goley, you have a motion on House Bill 211?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will move to retain House Bill 211.
Right, would you care to speak to your motion?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll second it.
All kinds of seconds. I like it.
Pearson. All right, please speak to your motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Due to the time constraints of this bill coming forward and a new board being assembled, retirement board being assembled with the city, which has not met yet. I think we heard there may be some different opinions on whether this legislation is needed, and I would like to give that new board members a time to weigh in on this. So I'd like to retain it so that we can hear from them going forward and then make a reasonable decision on this.
All right, Representative Pearson, do you wish to speak to your second?
I most certainly do not.
Okay. Is there anyone with any questions, comments, discussions? Okay, doesn't look like any. So the motion is to retain House Bill 211, and the clerk will call the roll.
Representative Roy,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Pearson,
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich,
Yes.
Representative Lekis,
Yes.
Representative Allegro,
Yes.
Representative Bailey,
Yes.
Representative Doucette,
Yes.
Representative Santo Nastaso, not present, not present. Representative Goley,
Yes.
Representative Schuett,
Yes.
Representative Judy,
Unmute, John.
Yes. Hello. You hear me?
Voici,
Okay.
we hear you.
is that
Oui,
right?
oui.
Okay, that's better. Okay. Representative Schmidt,
Yes,
Representative Schultz,
Yes.
Representative Fellows, Representative Fellows, put down the coffee, please.
she's muted.
Oh,
She's muted.
sorry. Yes.
Uh,
Representative Fellows votes yes.
The clerk heard yes. Representative Tanner,
Yes, I vote yes.
Representative Rhoda,
Yes.
and Representative Pimentel.
Yes.
Madam Chair, if you'd like, I can switch it to speaker.
And the chair.
Sorry.
Yes.
Looks like 18-0, 18-0.
So we're short Representative Santo Anastasio. Okay. One down. House Bill 499, the face recognition, I move ought to pass.
I'll second.
Question of the chair.
Yes, Representative Brota?
Are we not going to entertain the amendment to that bill?
If, I wasn't going to move the amendment, but if you wish to, now is the time. I'm delighted to have you do so.
Thank you. I move the amendment to House Bill 499.
Second.
Okay. If you would give us the amendment number.
Oh, I'm sorry, of course. I have it right here. Apologies.
I believe it's 02478.
That's it. Okay, that was the amendment that Representative Marjorie Smith presented at the hearing.
Yes.
Yes, I believe that you're a co-sponsor of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to speak to the amendment?
Yes, the amendment, I believe, as presented by Representative Smith, addresses a part of the original bill that involves the it addresses it addresses three parts of the bill. First has to do with using facial recognition technology by using driver's licenses, that the Department of Motor Vehicles shall not access any of its digital recognition of representative faces using it for this purpose. The other refers to evidence inadmissible, and it says that it restricts the use of that facial recognition evidence in certain cases. And also further defines some of the terms used in the bill.
Thank you. Do you wish to speak to your second, Representative Goley?
No, I think she explained it well.
All right. Representative Rhoda, did you manage to meet Representative Altshuler?
Yes, I did, and Representative Altshuler does not have a forthcoming amendment on this bill.
All right, thank you. Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Representative Fellows.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was on the subcommittee that worked on the 2019 version of this bill. And with the amendment, it is much more closely aligned to the work that was done in the recommendations of that subcommittee, particularly the fact that the amendment removes from the original bill the provision that the surveillance could be used for 72 hours. And the other major change is that if a law enforcement agency does want to do the surveillance, they can get a warrant, which is, I'm not a law enforcement person, but apparently a warrant is much easier to obtain than a court order. So I think that the concerns with this bill are addressed by the amendment.
Thank you, Representative Fellows. Representative Schuett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to point out, I believe I see Representative Santonastaso in attendance remotely now.
Yes, I saw him too. Representative Santonastaso, could you identify yourself and where you are, who's with you?
He's muted.
Yes. Yes. He'll have to unmute himself.
Hey, sorry about the delay. I'm in Keene and I'm alone.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, the motion is to adopt Amendment 0247, and the clerk will call the roll.
Representative Roy.
Yes.
The clerk votes yes. Representative Pearson.
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich.
Yes.
Representative Lekis.
Yes.
Representative Allegro.
Yes.
Representative Bailey.
Yes.
Representative Tanner.
Yes.
I think you mean Doucette.
He's working.
Yes, I need to set. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Clerk.
Representative Santonastaso. Representative Santonastaso.
Gotta find a time to unmute himself.
I'll be back. Representative Goley.
Yes.
Representative Schuett.
Yes.
I'm in a voting.
This is Santonastaso. Yes.
Santonastaso is recorded as yes. Representative Judy.
Oui.
Representative Schmidt.
Yes.
Representative Fellows.
Yes.
Now Representative Tanner.
Yes.
Excuse me, I think you skipped Representative Schultz.
I did, but I marked her yes. Representative Schultz.
You were right. Yes.
Terrific.
I like saying it myself, though, just for the record.
Representative Rhoda.
Yes, we.
Hey, there's only room for one Judy. Representative Pimentel.
Yes.
I believe that's, and the chair,
Yes,
19-0
all right.
on the amendment.
In that case, I will move ought to pass with amendment 0247.
Second,
That's Representative Goldie seconds. And I believe we've covered everything under the discussion of the amendment. Representative Sanchez?
Yeah, I'd like to say this. I'm out of step. I'm opposed to all of this. I think the police should have every ability to do what they need to fight crime, because I see this is like Ned Ludd and the Luddites. This is the wave of the future. There'll be private concerns that Facebook, whatever, will establish this. We're resisting what's inevitable. And I don't know where society's going, but I see it as inevitable. So I'm going to cast a futile protest no vote, but I'm happy to lose.
All right. Representative Schmidt?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't disagree with the thrust that this is probably the wave of the future, and that the police need to have the necessary tools to do their job of law enforcement. But this bill is not aimed at that. It is or intended to thwart that. It is aimed at what I think is going to be inevitable if we do not have something like that in New Hampshire, namely that we will have the subdivisions irresistibly drawn toward monitoring general activity of citizens having nothing to do with crime or anything else. They're minding their own business, walking down the street, they're going to get photographed. And to the degree that facial recognition is available, you'll be able to know with some degree of increasing accuracy, who is walking down the street doing nothing illegal, but maybe he or she or, whatever it is, it's going to be captured. We don't want that in the state of New Hampshire. And that's what this bill is intended to prevent.
Thank you. Representative Schuett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say I do agree with Representative Sytek that I think this will be one of the tools that law enforcement needs, and particularly we heard in the cases of looking for missing individuals and so forth. However, we did hear testimony that the technology is really right where it should be at the moment. And so I'm voting in favor of the bill right now, but I think that the technology does need further refinement, and I'm hoping that we will reach that point soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Schuett. Representative Roby?
Thank you. I also agree with Representative Sytek, except that as technology grows with leaps and bounds, it always has to bounce against the Constitution. And so long as we have a Constitution and it's not amended to allow such things, we have to be extremely watchful that technology does not leap ahead of and surpass the Constitution. If we think about it, computers are capable of such complex algorithms today that they could probably predict with a degree of accuracy who's likely to commit a crime. And if we were to embrace that technology, we might alleviate a lot of crime, but we'd also put a lot of people in jail for things they hadn't done yet. So I just think that as we go forward with new technology, we have to balance it against the backstop of the Constitution. Thank you.
I'd like to add to that the technology right now is at its weakest and least accurate when dealing with the type of people that we want to find as lost individuals. It doesn't deal well with elderly people. It doesn't deal well with children. It doesn't deal well with minorities or people of color. It's at its best at identifying young technologists, because that's They're the ones who develop the algorithms, and it works fine on identifying them. So I'd say that the concern that we'd be unable to identify missing people is, first, if you are trying to find a missing person, and you want to use face recognition technology, you'd have a lot of false positives and false negatives. But even so, you could use the positives, whether they're true or not, to start your investigation. You don't have to bring it to court that the reason you went to such a place to look for a person was because of face technology. You had a clue that they might be there, and you went and investigated. The results of the investigation are what would go to court, not what triggered it. Representative Sajak?
I wish you people would stop. You're very persuasive. It's not worth the time or the vote, so
Okay.
let's please move on.
Representative Sajak urges us to proceed to the vote. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, Representative Judy.
In any case, because there are some twins out there, they look alike. So we have to think about twins, boys or girls, men or women. So because I saw something like that in ABC a couple years ago. One of the twins did something wrong, and then they arrest the other one. So the guilty one is out. The one who didn't do nothing wrong is still in jail.
Well, that's definitely of concern.
Yes, thank you.
Representative Schmidt?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think one of the things that needs to be emphasized is we are not just talking to one another. We are talking to the people of New Hampshire, because unlike in the past when minutes of a committee meeting were very sketchy or non-existent, we are on the record in terms of the motivations that we have and the understanding that we have of the technology. And the courts will look at this in the future, and they will have a record of what we meant, and not just a supposition. And in some cases, it will be very important for not only the courts, but not only the people, but especially the courts, to be able to determine that. And so what we're saying may seem self-understood, but it will be significant for the record. Thank you.
Anyone else? Massive silence. In that case, the motion is ought to pass with Amendment 0247, made by me, seconded by Representative Goley. The clerk will call the roll.
Representative Roy.
Yes.
Clerk votes no. Representative Pearson.
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich.
Yes.
Representative Lekis.
Yes.
Representative Allegro.
Yes.
Representative Bailey.
Yes.
Representative Doucette.
Yes.
Representative Santo Nastaso. Representative Santo Nastaso going once, going twice. Representative Goley.
Yes.
Representative Schuett.
Yes.
Representative Judy.
Oui.
Representative Schmidt.
Yes.
Representative Schultz.
Yes.
Representative Fellows.
Yes.
Representative Tanner.
Yes.
Representative Broda.
Yes.
Representative Pimentel.
Yes.
And the chair.
Yes. Representative Santo Nastaso?
Are you back? No vote.
Probably.
All right. In that case, it's 17-1.
17-1.
Can
Right.
you remind me the bill number again?
I think it
One
was 17-1.
The bill number, the bill number.
199. Does anyone object to consent?
No.
Person Sytek?
No, there'll be no minority.
All right, no minority report, we'll go on consent. And I will write the report. Okay. Moving right along. Representative Blackus, you have a motion.
Yes, I'd like to, this is on Bill, House Bill 218. I'd like to move Amendment 0256H.
Right.
Repeat the bill number, please.
218.
This is House Bill 218, which is the
Itinerant vendors.
itinerant vendors, yes.
Could we have the amendment number again, please?
0256H. So you're moving on to pass with amendment, or you're moving the amendment? Okay.
Do we have a second?
Seconded by Roy. Okay, do you wish to speak to your motion, Representative Blackus?
I do. It was noted that, we have the two bills, 217 and 218, one being the itinerant vendors, the other one hawker and peddlers, which are closely related, but they had a problem where there were conflicting references, so that if both bills passed, they refer to sections of the RSAs that have been repealed. And given that they're that close, what this amendment does is basically combine them. If we adopt the amendment and then pass 218, we would be eliminating the state licensing both for itinerant vendors and for hawkers and peddlers. So just to simplify things, that's the point of this amendment. If the amendment passes and 218, then I would move later to ITL 217. That's it. Thank you.
Representative Roy, do you wish to speak to your second? Okay. Any discussion?
I wish to speak.
Yes, Representative Schmidt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I understand that the zeal for disposing of what seemed to be, out of date and no longer needed members of the statutes. However, this statute is doing no harm. It's raising a little bit of money, and it provides an impediment for casual users who may, like burglars, who or thieves, let's put it that way, who won't break into your house, but if your door's unlocked, they'll come in. This provides a little bit of impediment for people who are not serious, people who are, willing to present themselves in various different communities to try to sell goods. I know that they can still be addressed by local ordinances, but this is a slightly enhanced hurdle to get over that serious and honest business people will do, and people who are perhaps not so serious and will feel comfortable perhaps going about their business illegally in a community and doing damage to the citizenry before the locality even discovers they're out there. So I'm going to be voting against this because the statute was adopted decades ago and it's been serving a useful purpose. It's still there.
Thank you. Representative Goley?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too will oppose this. I think it's more on the purview to have these individuals registered with the state. When you look at what they are doing, and I will read from the bill, offer to sell or take orders for merchandise from temporary or transient sales locations within a town, or who go from town to town or place to place within a town for such purpose. For individual towns to keep track of these individuals. Are they continually moving? I think is a difficult thing to do. I think by being registered with the state, the towns can look to see whether they are registered or not and take notice from there. I think it's important when it's a transient business that it be recorded with the state and not with each individual town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Representative Bailey?
It's a question of sort. It seemed to be necessary to put in candidates for office. But what
That
about-
is an exemption so that towns cannot ban candidates for office or people who are collecting signatures for political petitions.
Oh, I was gonna say, that's the question. Political petitions it seemed to be candidates for office. I was wondering about political petitions.
I believe it doesn't say so explicitly, but I don't believe that towns can require a license for that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Representative Allegro?
I would, thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to address the three objections that I just heard with a counterpoint. I'll take the last first. The idea that a thief, for lack of a shorter term, is going to register with the state, it seems to be a moot point. And then the next two items that were left were that the bill does no harm and that it raises money, don't seem to me to be likely grounds to have a law on the books. Raising money and doing no harm, not criteria for keeping the law on the books.
Okay. Representative Broda?
Thank you. Representing the Seacoast, an area that in the summertime is very busy with all sorts of people like this. I am going to vote against this bill, and I hope that people will recognize that some areas of New Hampshire are more prone to this activity than others. Thank you.
Representative Roy?
Thank you. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me?
I can't.
Cannot hear you, Representative Roy.
Thank you. I have to apparently keep sharing my microphone.
Now you're good.
I appreciate that. So with regard to the question about whether this benefits the towns in preparation for their decision, whether or not it's a local permit to do this, we heard testimony that really nothing is done at the state level to do any kind of a background check or anything. It's simply they take their name and their money. So with the towns have the ability to do the same type of thing on a town by town basis. The police departments have the ability to do background checks to make sure that these people are legitimate. But the state really is doing nothing but skimming some money off of the top of this. They're not doing anything other than taking the name and taking the check. So I just, if it was doing what is purported, putting a safety buffer, then I might be in favor of it, but it's not. It's just a collection. So I don't see that as a legitimate reason to keep the statute.
Representative Fellows?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know of examples where people have come, they drive down your road and they stop when they see somebody outside, or they knock on the door and they're trying to sell things like driveway sealants, or they say that they have leftover asphalt and they can put that on your driveway. And they're not necessarily, the sealants are not always what you might expect them to be. So I think this licensing is important, because one thing it will do is if somebody reports seeing someone going door to door doing this, they can contact the local police. And if they don't have that license to show, then they have, you can pick them up and they can be charged with that. I think it's a protection for homeowners. It's particularly a protection for seniors who might not understand that this could really not be a good deal.
Thank you. Representative Schuett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I basically was going to iterate what Representative Fellows just said. As a widow who lives alone, I actually did have someone come to my door shortly after my husband passed away, who said that my husband had given him permission to do our driveway. I contacted the local police. They verified that this gentleman did not have a license and actually came and assisted me in shooing him away from my property. And I think particularly for a female who lives alone, to be able to verify licensure for someone who comes to your door, that's primary importance to me. Thank you.
Representative Blackus?
An earlier comment was that there might be people who would come to either, go in a, they're not serious, they're going to go into a locked door, or, I mean, I think the biggest issue is people come to the door checking to make sure nobody is home. Because, they don't want to, they want to burgle the house, but they don't want to do it with someone present because that might be dangerous. I mean, that happens today. I think it's more often people claiming to be, a utility worker or delivery or something like that. And the problem is that, you're talking about serious people. Well, serious people will get the license, but people who aren't serious aren't going to try and get the license. And, it's not going to stop them from doing it. I mean, there might be one case, but if you see somebody, if somebody is doing something suspicious, you can still call the police. The police can still look into what's going on. So I really don't see that this having any benefit, and all you're doing is you're making life more difficult and more expensive for the people who are the serious vendors who are trying to do the right thing. The Assistant Secretary of State told us that they had in his memory, no enforcement activity, no investigations, no nothing. And in effect, they're doing almost nothing. And so I really see this as just a small negative, maybe a small negative, but really of no real value. Thank you.
Representative Sytek?
Following up on Representative Lekis, did almost nothing. You mean did nothing.
That's what
there is nothing happened. And in fact, what was really discouraging about the test by the Deputy Secretary of State was that even if the person puts down criminal history in their application, it's still approved. Interesting how this is breaking out in terms of philosophy here. That's it.
Representative Goley?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And while we give the cities and towns the ability to license, once again, I just want to reiterate that these are folks that go from town to town and are transient and are temporary and transient sales locations. So they could be in Manchester this afternoon or this morning, Hooksett by the afternoon, and Concord by the evening. There's no way for cities and towns to get licensing on these folks. I think it's important, if we're going to keep track of them when they come into the state, that they be registered with the state to track them. And that's the reasoning. I think we have them register with the state, is because that is a true possibility. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Fellows?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just as a follow-up to some of the recent comments, if somebody has a legitimate quality service to offer and they're working in a rural area like where I live, then they would be much better served by getting one license with the state than having to stop in a day up here. They could easily cover like 5 or 6 different communities, and they would be much better served with one license from the state than to try to work with each town individually. Also, in some of the smaller towns, the town office isn't even open every day of the week. Thank you.
Representative Allegro?
Yes, I think that no matter where the sales offer is coming from, it's always prudent to check out the quality of the merchandise. I guess that's the short way to say that is buyer beware. But more importantly, I think we're treading on some shaky ground when we assume that just because someone is selling from door to door and is driving on your street, that they're more inclined to be crooked than, for instance, the people who sold tons and tons of bad concrete to the Big Dig in Massachusetts. I think it's a form of prejudice, and I would suggest that we're on shaky ground, assuming that a small business selling from door to door is any more likely to be dishonest than some of the ones that advertise to us aggressively online.
Representative Santos-Nastasso?
Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Okay, the motion is on Amendment 256H to House Bill 218. And the clerk will call the roll.
Representative Roy.
Yes.
Clerk Brooks, yes. Representative Pearson.
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich.
Yes.
Representative Lekis.
Yes.
Representative Allegro.
Yes.
Representative Bailey.
Yes.
Representative Doucette.
Yes.
Representative Santo Nastasso. Not present?
He's still
Representative-
linked, but he's not answering.
Is he there?
Looks like it.
Representative Goley.
Yes. No, I'm sorry, no.
No,
Okay, no,
no takes, he's back.
yeah, okay, terrific.
It was in the same breath, it counts.
Representative Schuett.
No,
Representative Judy.
No.
Representative Schmidt.
Absolutely not.
Representative Schultz.
I'm sorry. This is on the amendment, right? Yes.
Sorry, say that again, please.
Yes.
I
Yes,
support the amendment.
actually, that's very interesting. Representative Fellows.
No,
Representative Tanner.
No.
Representative Broda.
No.
Representative Pimentel.
No.
The chair?
Yes.
No. No, okay.
Yes.
Mr. Clerk, could I please, there was no vote from Representative Santos Nastasso, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
No vote.
Thank you.
Yes, Representative Allegro.
Given the vagaries of this Zoom system, we have someone who's clearly present at the meeting, but is for some reason we don't understand, unable to vote. Is there a proper way to handle that?
Not really. That's one of the issues.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Representative Schuett.
Yes, if I may, Chair has clearly stated that you have to have your video working in order to vote. And I would point out that Representative Santo Nastasso just has his still picture, which makes me think that he has left his computer.
Yes, Representative Schuett. When we took the last vote, you could see his current face in the cab of his truck. All right, at the moment, he's not responding, so we don't know why, but he did not vote. If he were to vote, it will be with video.
Thank you.
And the motion, the vote on the amendment is Representative Sytek.
It is 10-8 in favor of the amendment. I might say, I've done this in the past. You might as well vote to approve the amendment, then vote down the bill, if that's your, which I'm going to be doing pretty soon.
Okay. So the amendment passes. Representative Lekis.
I would like to move HB 218 as amended,
With amendment.
with the amendment we just passed.
With them.
The correct motion is with amendment, not as amended.
Thank you.
make sure you're using daylight saving time too.
Is
Do
there
we
a
vote?
second?
Second.
I say.
Okay. Motion is ought to pass with amendment by Representative Backus, seconded by Representative Roy. And is there any further discussion? All right. Seeing none. Representative Backus?
I think we've had all the discussion in the meeting, so.
Okay. Okay, in that case, the clerk can call the roll.
Representative Roy,
Yes.
the clerk votes yes. Representative Pearson,
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich,
Yes.
Representative Lekis,
Yes.
Representative Allegro,
Yes.
Representative Bailey,
Yes.
Representative Doucette,
Yes.
Representative Santo-Nastaso, have you returned?
No, in fact,
No
he's
vote.
lost his connection, looks like.
Okay, well, that's no vote. Representative Goley,
No.
Representative Schuett,
No,
Representative Judy,
No.
Representative Schmidt,
No.
Representative Schultz,
No.
Representative Fellows,
No,
Representative Tanner,
No.
Representative Groda,
No.
Representative Pimentel,
No.
Representative McGuire,
Yes,
9-9.
9-9, the motion fails.
Madam Chair, a motion
Yes,
inexpedient to legislate.
Second.
okay, that's by Representative Goley, seconded by Representative Schmidt, and
I don't think I need to speak to the motion. I think we had enough discussion.
I'm just wondering, Representative Goley, why you think it will result in something other than a 9-9 tie, but that's,
Well, it's going to bring it to the floor.
If we go through all the motions, Madam Chair, it'll go as no recommendation.
all
That's
right.
my-
So the motion is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 218. Discussion? No. All right, in that case, the clerk can call the roll.
Okay, Representative Roy,
No.
the clerk votes no. Representative Pearson,
No.
Representative Yakubovich,
No.
Representative Lekis,
No.
Representative Allegro,
No.
Representative Bailey,
No.
Representative, let's see, Representative Doucette,
No.
Representative Santo Nastaso, are you here? No vote. Representative Goley,
Yes.
Representative Schuett,
yes,
Representative Judy,
Oui.
Representative Schmidt,
Yes.
Representative Schultz,
Yes.
Representative Fellows,
yes,
Representative Tanner,
Yes.
Representative Groda,
Yes.
Representative Pimentel,
Yes.
and the chair,
Now,
9-9.
all right, let's move on.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'll move inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 17, seeing as how in effect we just voted on it with the amendment to 218.
I'll second it.
Okay. That one I should bring. That's inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 217 by Representative Schuett, seconded by Representative Lekis. Is there any discussion?
Um,
Just on the motion, it's ITL.
Yes. I'll just say that, in effect, it's going to come to the floor with 218, and Representative Lakis stated that his amendment was basically combining the two. So rather than deal with two different bills, we'll deal with both on the one.
Like it's moved and.
No.
No, I second.
Show it.
Show it.
Okay. Representative Blackus, do you wish to speak to your second?
No, that covered it.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Yes,
Representative Schmidt.
we had a very kind of vehement hearing on hawkers and peddlers about 10 years ago. And the committee really determined at the time that we should not mess with the hawkers and peddlers statute, that this is not something that we want to let loose on our communities without licensing and so forth, and having a central licensing operation through the state makes sense. So place that the towns can call and find out whether somebody's has obtained the necessary license or not. We should not let our towns be at the mercy of potentially illegal activities. Legal activities, they can get the license and they'll do their job. But, we looked at it then, the situation hasn't changed. The statute is still performing a useful function.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none. The motion is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 217, made by Representative Schuett. The clerk can call the roll.
Representative Roy.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Pearson.
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich.
Yes.
Representative Lekis.
Yes.
Representative Allegro.
No.
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 Representative Bailey.
Yes.
Representative Doucette.
Yes.
Representative Santonastaso, have you returned?
Don't see him.
Apparently not. No vote. Representative Goley.
Yes.
Representative Schuett.
Yes.
Representative Judy.
Oui, monsieur.
Representative Schmidt.
Yes.
Representative Schultz.
Yes.
Representative Fellows.
Yes.
Representative Cantor.
Yes.
Representative Grota.
Yes.
Representative Pimentel.
Yes.
17-1.
Chair didn't vote.
Sorry. It's the first time I've done this. Chair.
Yes.
I was doing so well.
Consent calendar.
Representative Allegro, do you wish to write a minority report?
Consent is fine.
Okay. All right.
What's
And
the vote?
I will make clear in the statement, Madam Chair, that issues that may pertain to this bill will be contained in the arguments on 218.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right, Representative Allegro, you have a motion on House Bill 606.
Two. The motion is ought to pass. And
House Bill 606
Thank you.
ought to pass by Representative Allegro. Is there a second?
Yes. Second.
You wish to speak to your motion?
yes, please, thank you. I support this bill because I believe it remedies some current failings in the present structure of the law. I won't go through all of them. Thank goodness you all say. But first and foremost is that the government was never intended to intervene in neighborly activities like cutting hair, filing nails, and coloring each other's hair. Second is that I think that the testimony in opposition was lacking. So this was about aesthetics and hairdressing without remuneration, just to remind everyone. there was a lot of talk in testimony against this bill about diseases and nits and burning people's hair by putting chemicals in it and such. But I never really heard anything concrete. They were just all threats that we all appear to face. So I asked the question about consent. What if a consenting adult asks another consenting adult if you'll color my hair? And I didn't receive a proper answer. So I just made a quick list of a few things that consenting adults can do in this state. We can drive each other in cars, even though there are hundreds of automobile deaths every year. So it's a dangerous activity. And there are actually statistics available on it. We can buy or offer each other cigarettes, even though there are over 1,000 cases of diagnosed lung cancer in this state every year and hundreds of deaths. So there are statistics to say that giving somebody a cigarette is dangerous. We can have all forms of unprotected sex during which STDs may be passed, some of them disfiguring and some of them fatal. So it brings me back to the question, if my wheelchair-bound grandmother asked my wife to put a little commercially available Miss Clairol hair coloring in her hair, why should this be a Class A misdemeanor? I think we've experienced some great government overreach in this, and so that's why I support the bill to peel back some of this government interference. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Roy, do you wish to comment?
Thank you. I would just add that the ability to help people, particularly disadvantaged people who can't necessarily afford to go to a professional establishment. Some people volunteer their time and help. I don't think that it's a good idea to keep them from being able to do that. So as long as people are consenting to it and are people willing to do it for free, I think that the government really shouldn't be getting in the way of that charitable action. Thank you.
I got a call from a constituent who said that she was trying to volunteer to give haircuts at a homeless shelter and was told that she couldn't because it's illegal. And in fact, even my hairdresser was unable to give free haircuts because the board felt that that was inappropriate. Representative Schuett.
Madam Chair, I'll just point out that we did have professionals in these fields testify at the hearing that many of them do volunteer at such venues, either for free or very reduced rates. I'm curious if your hairdresser was denied going into a nursing home just because of the COVID threat.
It was not a nursing home. She was offering to give free haircuts to children in a local park, properly socially distanced and wearing a mask. No.
I don't know if perhaps whoever ran the park felt that it was inappropriate, but I know that nursing homes and shelters and so forth do accept licensed volunteers. Thank you.
That's fine. Representative Schmidt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just making sure my mic is on. This is a solution in search of a problem. Parents cutting their daughters' or sons' hair are not prosecuted in the state. That's not what county attorneys and local law enforcement is involved in. This is to prevent people who should not be doing this because they don't have any background. Haircut will cure itself, but fooling around with chemicals is a way to be a fool and have a friend for a fool as well. So this is another situation where this zeal to get rid of statutes that are not doing any harm but do some good, is biting itself in the butt. So I'm not going to support this time or any time it comes up, because it doesn't do any good. Just meddling in an arrangement that works fine right now.
Representative Fellows.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to make the point that I think that this opens the door for people to operate illegal establishments. They can set up a room to do haircuts and to do all sorts of treatments on people and not put up a sign. And through word of mouth or even over the internet, people can become aware of this and go to this location. And should they get reported and someone comes by to check on them, all they need to say is like, oh, I was just doing it for friends and doing it for free. So that's one point. And I did hope I can, some of you may remember that we had testimony from a licensed cosmetologist, and he told us that to provide services for a charity, which would be for no remuneration, that he can get, that you can get, well, people who are licensed can get a certificate to do this from the licensing board, and that there's no charge for that certificate. Thank you.
Person Bailey, did you have something?
No.
No, okay. Fine, I'm going to respond to Representative Schmidt by saying that I am very strongly against selective enforcement of our laws. If it's against the law, then it should be prosecuted as when it occurs and not when they think, oh, well, it's just somebody cutting their kid's hair. That is a recipe for corruption, basically. And I am strongly opposed to it. And I believe that since Representative Santonastasso is not with us, I'm going to drop this bill. We will come back to it because I don't see any need to go off on a number of no reports. Yes.
Got a message that he had an emergency.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I hope it is.
No details.
No details. Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that he is letting us know what he's doing. So we will move on to some other bill that we have.
You're recessing this?
This one, yes. We'll pick it up at a later date.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I really don't understand how we cannot vote on this bill, yet vote on other bills. That doesn't, can you please explain that?
We can vote on other bills where there's an expectation that we will have a decisive vote.
Thank you.
For example, Representative Lekis on House Bill 456.
Moment to get,
Madam Chair, can I just ask that maybe Representative Allegro withdraw his motion so you don't have a pending motion, sort of hanging out there, not voted?
Thank you, Pam, because I was just going to ask the same question. There's a motion on the floor.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for reminding me that we need to do that first. Representative Allegro, will you withdraw
Yes,
your
and thank
motion?
you for that solution. I withdraw my motion.
Okay.
And Representative Roy needs to withdraw his second, I believe.
I withdraw my second.
Thank you.
Yes, we got a message from Representative Santonastasso that he had an emergency and he will not be able to join us.
okay, sorry for the delay, just getting organized here. I'd like to propose Amendment 0306H to House Bill 456.
That's 0386.
No, 0306H.
All right. Okay. I'll second.
I'm sorry, I missed which bill we're talking about. I apologize.
56, HB 456.
Thank you.
Speak to your motion.
Okay, just as a reminder, this is the bill relative to the disclosure of information from vital records. There was agreement, as I recall, from the Assistant Secretary of State on this. This amendment takes care of two issues. One is it just says the Department of Correction, it adds, the Department of Correction shall have access, and the key is to a limited set of vital records information in accordance with the provisions of RSA 21H8, et cetera. And that was, and both the Assistant Secretary of State and the person who was there from the Department of Corrections agreed with that change and actually thought it was a good idea. They probably would have only gotten certain records anyway, but it's better to make that clear. The two other changes were Ms. Smarling actually caught two errors in the existing law. There were two places, if you look at the amendment on lines 17 and 27, there are two places where it said, limited data set. And somehow it managed to get through enrolled bill and everything else. It was limited date set, which makes no sense. So it just changes those two words from date to data. That's it. Thank you.
Seconded.
So,
Any discussion on the amendment?
Second.
It's been seconded.
Oh,
Not seeing any.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to thank Representative Lekis for the explanation on the change to this second amendment, because I was going to ask the question why there was a second amendment versus amendment 0282. So thank you for the clarification.
you're welcome. Yeah, it was confusing. There were actually, I think, two other amendments proposed. And
this one incorporates all the little details.
right, incorporates them plus the minor clerical correction.
Okay. All right. Seeing no discussion, the motion is to adopt amendment 0306H to House Bill 456, and the clerk will call the roll.
Representative Roy,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Pearson,
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich,
Yes.
Representative Lekis,
Yes.
Representative Allegro,
yes.
Representative Bailey,
Yes.
Representative Doucette,
Yes.
Representative Goley,
Yes.
Representative Schuett,
yes,
Representative Judy,
Oui.
Representative Schmidt,
Yes.
Representative Schultz,
Yes.
Representative Fellows,
yes,
Representative Painter,
Yes.
Representative Groda,
Yes.
Representative Pimentel,
Yes.
and the chair,
Yes.
18-0.
Okay. Representative Lekis, you have a further motion?
Yes, I'd like to move ought to pass with amendment on House Bill 456.
Second. Okay.
All right.
By Roy this time. Do you wish to speak to your motion?
I do. Basically, what this does is it lets the Secretary of State's office to give a limited set of information that the Department of Corrections requires for certain functions. Person for the Department of Corrections said that if they didn't get this, they would have to pay to go to outside commercial data sources and things of that nature. And I mean, that makes no sense in my view. So we're giving them access to a limited set of data they need to handle, particular things that are necessary. I forget some of the examples, but it's just basic information. they need to do their job.
Restitution.
Well, other thing. Thank you.
Yes, Representative Bailey, you had a question?
No, I seem to be, it had to do with restitution.
That was one of the reasons they need this information, yes.
I believe there are others.
Other comments, questions, discussion?
Madam Chair, who was the second on this motion?
Representative Roy,
Thank you.
any comments?
No, I embraced everything that Representative Lucas said.
All right. That's very efficient of us. Anyone else wishing to discuss this bill?
Just to fill in the gap, I think a couple of the other examples were having to do with marriage status, the contact in the air, that sort of thing.
Further discussion? Okay, the motion is ought to pass with amendment 0306H on House Bill 456. And the clerk will call the roll.
Representative Roy,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Pearson,
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich,
Yes.
Representative Lekis,
Yes.
Representative Allegro,
Yes.
Representative Bailey,
Yes.
Representative Doucette,
Yes.
Representative Goley,
Yes.
Representative Schuett,
Yes.
Representative Judy,
Oui, monsieur.
Representative Schmidt,
Representative
Yes.
Thompson's with us.
Representative Simon Estasso, were you here? Were you here when the question was put? No response. Representative Schultz,
Yes.
Representative Fellows,
Yes.
Representative Cantor,
Yes.
Representative Broda,
Yes.
Representative Pimentel,
Yes.
and the chair.
Yes.
18-0.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I have a motion on House Bill 230.
Can we just establish is 456 going on consent?
Oh, sorry.
If there's any objection to consent? No. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, Representative Grover.
All right.
All right.
Representative Santon-Estasso, if you are with us, please say so. We hope you're emerging.
Can't respond. He can't respond yet, Madam Chair. He hasn't completely come in. It's only his camera showing. There we go. No. Now he's gone entirely.
All right. So on House Bill 230, what is your motion?
I move that we retain the bill.
Second.
Who is the second?
Rep. Schultz.
Oh, Schultz, okay. Okay, do you wish to speak to your motion, Representative Broda?
I will. Thank you very much. I think House Bill 230 has good intentions to address the issues that we have surrounding, some of the issues that we have surrounding daycare in New Hampshire. However, there are a lot of moving parts to this bill, and I think that we need some time to put it together in light of the additional responsibilities that we have with all the bills that we'll be hearing on the House. So as you can see from yesterday, things may take longer in some cases than we think, and we may be having a lot of House sessions, which I think takes away from the time that we have to really focus on this bill. And I would like the committee to support that motion so that we can put something together that we can all support.
Okay, very commendable. Representative Schultz?
She said it very well. I'll just add that, there are some good amendments, I think, good amendments that we can work from that would be helpful, but I don't think we're at a point of agreement yet to pass any of them.
I'd like to add that the department is revising its rules in which many of the requirements for these people are instituted rather than in statute. And I would very much like to see what the revised rules are.
And Madam Chair, I'd like to add to that. I agree with you that I know that one of the administration folks that spoke on the bill did say that a year ago. Maybe COVID got in the way, but I personally had concerns. I don't think I'm the only one that I'm not yet sure or not yet confident that the administration official that is in charge of that has the follow through. So I hope you're right. I want you to be right, Madam Chair.
Oh, always a pleasure. Representative Goley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I too want to reiterate that I hope someone from the department is here and the participants listening to this, because we did give them a year to put CPR and first aid into rules. We know departments have met over the time and rules have been done for certain departments. They have not yet done it for us. And this is the last time we're going to hold out on this and give them the opportunity. We'll put it in statute if they don't want to move along. So I just want to make it clear with these folks that we're watching and we want to make sure this is taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you. That's
Ditto.
Okay. Anyone else? Representative Fellows.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to add that I read the current rules related to professional development, and I think that there can be improvements in that area that everybody can get on board with.
Excellent. Anyone else? Representative Sytek.
Does this have to do with also the inspection of these places?
There's something to do with inspection results, yes.
This is more philosophy than anything else, so bear with me for a minute and a half here. My interactions with state government, whether I'm a rep or not, have always been good. I've gotten wonderful service. People try, they really do. I am concerned echoing in my mind is the testimony of inspectors throwing their weight around, that the teaspoon was pointed north instead of pointed south. I don't know whom to believe, whether the purportedly offending daycare center was just trumping something up. I just don't know whom to believe, but I'm always on guard for people throwing their weight around. I don't know if there's any way to prevent that in rule or in statute, but that's a very discouraging prospect for me. I don't know how to put my finger on it any better than to say what I just did.
Anyone else have a comment? All right. In that case, the motion is to retain House Bill 230, and the clerk can call the roll.
Representative Roy.
Yes.
The clerk votes yes. Representative Pearson.
Yes.
Representative Yakubovich.
Yes.
Representative Lekis.
Yes.
Representative Allegro.
Yes.
Representative Bailey.
Yes.
Representative Doucette.
Yes.
Representative Santo Nastaso is apparently not back yet. We're not here when the question is put. Representative Goley.
Yes.
Representative Schuett.
Yes.
Representative Judy.
Oui, monsieur.
Okay. See. Representative Schmidt.
Yes.
Representative Schultz.
Yes.
Representative Fellows.
Yes.
Representative Fontenot. Excuse me. Representative Cantor.
Yes.
Representative Droda.
Yes.
Representative Pimentel.
Yes.
And the chair.
Yes.
8-0 for retention.
Let's take a 10-minute break, a recess.
I'll mute the room, Madam Chair. Just remember to unmute when you're ready to resume.
I'll say this going on.
I don't know how much you want to hear now.
The video's on and we are on.
The committee to send things out.
Right.
Yeah, even if we're gonna have a floor fight, it's better to come out with a recommendation.
Right. Okay. Resuming. During the recess, we had a caucus, and we've agreed that the most appropriate thing to do would be to end today's session on the high note of having voted out 5 bills. And since Representative Santonastasso will not be joining us for the rest of the day. So in that case, we will see you all on Monday on the public hearings for 4 bills. We will have a full committee work session on the emergency order bills after the hearings. And I hope we will be able to come to some reasonable conclusions on those bills.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Representative Goley.
just a quick question on House Bill 218. Is that going to go without recommendation? I'm just wondering whether we are writing a split report.
There, not yet. There's a, we're not up against a deadline, so I'm not going to send it out today. At the moment, we have had 2 tie votes, so it's, we'll try again.
If those 2 votes failed, what other motions available?
We can reconsider the motion, one of the motions. Because, you know, on 274, I didn't mind sending it out with no recommendation because we really were unable to agree on anything. I think that on 218, we will agree, even if we end up with a very partisan divide. And I would rather have a recommendation than to put out a whole bunch of bills with no recommendation and make us look like we're idiots. That's my personal preference, so I will not move out on House Bill 218.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Representative Judy.
I always forgot to tell Representative Terry Roy, welcome back to EDNA.
Excellent, thank you. Representative Pimentel, yes, thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. That was why my hand was risen. I just wanted to say I was very glad to be able to sub on my old committee and see all of you again. And hopefully I'll get to do it again because I really enjoyed being on EDNA last session. So
Yes, well, excellent.
thanks to everyone.
You are a valuable member.
Thank you.
Yes, Representative Sitek.
Representative Pimentel, you sort of prompted a thought, and that's, I really liked the in-person session. You got to talk to people in a way that you can't talk to here, and it just felt better. And I hope I just liked the personal bonds that you made. You just
I agree with you.
respect. Sure.
Sitek. I'm looking forward to getting back into the LOB again. I've already had my first shot and I will probably start attending again in March. So I'm actually looking forward to actually being in the LOB.
So I got next Saturday, so.
Excellent. We're meeting again on Monday at 10 o'clock with hearings in the work session. And we also have a further executive session on weather modification and whatever else we can get to on Thursday next week. And then on Monday, the 8th, we have our last scheduled meeting before we have to vote on all the bills. Okay. Thank you all for coming, and I'll see you Monday.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Have a nice weekend. God bless
Thanks,
you. Au
Representative
revoir.
Tanner also.
Au revoir. Merci.